What's up everyone, in this video I'm going to be playing the tier 9 beast that is the STI. So I'm quite often asked what my favourite tank is, and the STI has to be one that's near the top. I mean, the only reason it's not first is just because tier 9 exists. There are so many good tanks at tier 9 like the E75, the T54, M46 and a lot more, so I just can't choose from all of those, so I just say tier 9 is my favourite tier. Whenever you think of like a pure heavy tank with a lot of armor and a decent gun to boot, you're either going to be thinking of the E75 or the STI, and there's always the old debate about which is better. I'd personally give the edge to the STI for a number of reasons. First reason is one of the most important factors of the tank, armor. So while undoubtedly the E75 definitely gets better hull armor, the weak spots are so much more visible and so much more crippling. You see, the E75 has a huge lower front plate which can be easy to shoot for any tier 9 and 10 tanks and maybe some tier 8 tanks as well, whereas the STI, it's a lot smaller, a lot thinner, a lot harder to shoot, and the turret is also virtually impenetrable. There is absolutely no way you're getting through the front of that turret, whereas the E75 gets a little flat area where it can be penetrated by tier 9 and 10 tanks. Secondly, it's the gun. The E75 gets a slower firing gun. It gets 4.14 rounds a minute, but it does get the advantage in alpha damage at 460 versus the STI's 420. The problem here is the DPM. The STI gets a higher rate of fire and gets 2003 damage per minute, whereas the E75 gets a 1900 DPM, around about there, so the DPM is lower. However, both tanks get the not great 0.38 accuracy and the exact same awful aiming time of 2.9 seconds. So in this particular game, you're not going to be seeing much of the usual heavy tank gameplay that you expect, and that would be going right to the front line, taking all the hits for your team and dealing out damage. Instead, I've decided to, this is Castilla and it's a very kind of hard map for me to play, so I decided to try something new and go up the usual route, the hill route at the spawn to the cap circle, but then I realized all the enemies are here, so I can get this position, shoot down at them and basically destroy them. Now, one thing the SCI does have that most Russian tanks don't is gun depression. This tank gets 8 degrees of gun depression, which is exactly the same as the E75's. Right now I'm basically just spamming HE into this WTF4, and this is going to actually possibly cost me later on in the game. I'm still spamming away. I know these guys can't penetrate me because they don't have the penetration. The IS-3 probably has the closest chance, but he either doesn't know where my weak spots are or just isn't accurate enough, as is the case with Russian guns. So it's very important to note that the T44 is stock, because I later on go and make some misplays about that too. And here, using the great gun depression that not many other Russian tanks would have, I managed to sneak a shot in on the IS-3. While I was basically spending half of the time in this game climbing a hill, my team has managed to evaporate extremely quickly, and I can see why that's happened. Even the IS-3 is asking me to just like try and save them. So this is a 1 versus 3 situation. Now everyone is on low health, and remember when I spammed HE into that WTF Panzer IV? Well, turns out everyone has under 200 health. That HE would be really useful now, wouldn't it? So it's true that I did get a bit unlucky and low roll with the WTF Panzer IV when firing HE, but I don't think I should have used all 3 of my HE shells, and now it could cost me. So another mistake I end up making and will probably end up regretting later is the T44. At this time I hadn't really realized he was stock. He's using the stock turret 1300 HP, so basically I don't really have to worry about him at all. There is no way he will ever penetrate me unless he fires gold. See, now I'm getting punished for my HE mistake by basically just bouncing off that T44. I wanted to advance for this WTF Panzer IV, but he realizes that I'm going to come down, use my gun depression, so I had to go down from the hill and finish him off like that. So still choosing to ignore the T44, and then I for some reason managed to screw my shot up, and this costs me 600 health, I believe. And another mistake, not realizing he's stuck and basically letting him distract me while the T-54 manages to put 2 shots into me. So even though this is basically an easy win, at the end of this game I wasn't really very happy with how I played. Sure, I did win a 1 vs 3 and get a free Kolobanov's medal, but I made so many mistakes this game and I really didn't deserve to win, and it was only because of the tank I was in that I actually did win and the amount of health I had. So I usually do critique myself like this, like just looking at how I misplayed and trying to improve in the future. So in this game I could have saved my AT shells, ignored the stock T-44 who never had a chance in penetrating me and could have won like that. But on the bright side, that's 7 medals, 4.3k damage, which is a lot more than it looked in that game, 1,300 experience, so that's a pretty good game, even with the mistakes I made. And it just goes to show how powerful the STI is, even if you do misplay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and bye.